third season of The Mandalorian is looming over the horizon, and even though we have 2 seasons under our belt, we're still on the dark side when it comes to things we know about Din Djarin's people, the creed, the culture, or even their motives, training, and what is the force that drives them forward. And these are exactly the things we're here for, to uncover the truth behind it all.
What shall I forge?
Something for a foundling. For a specific foundling.
One thing Star Wars fans know very well is the concept of waiting, and yes, there are always news about a movie or TV show from the Star Wars coming our way, but the fans will know the first project that led to all of the projects we have today was the Mandalorian series, the first to release on the Disney Plus streaming platform. So we're here to tell all of you guys to feel a little more hopeful, as there's only the second half of 2022, and an even smaller time period you'll have to wait for the third season, something which felt like an eternity after the first 2 seasons of the series. Whatever the case may be, the main thing to know is that the series has been in production for quite a while now, which also means that only finishing touches on the post-production side of things are needed before we see it gets released on the Disney Plus streaming platform.
This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
The main reason, or should we say the 2 main reasons the series got the love of the fans are the Mandalorian, Din Djarin, and his trusty companion, Baby Yoda, or Grogu, 2 characters that all of us quickly fell in love with just because of who they are, but also because of the dynamic they share on the screen.
Stop touching things.
However, as things are beginning to unfold, there are more and more plot threads that will need to be addressed, and a whole lot more details, bits and pieces, that have not been mentioned in the series so far. Ones that are very important, and we think you ought to know each of them, despite all of it being placed right in the messed up timeline of the Star Wars franchise, and where everything and everyone falls into. The Star Wars fans finally got their wish to see more and more live-action adaptations from the animated series, or the pages of the book, and although Grogu was the one to continue his perfect meme run, the show's real reason for the success it has is the masked bounty hunter that goes by the name Mando or Din Djarin. Throughout the first 2 seasons, we have seen him show off his fighting skills, his culture, and also the code he goes accordingly, and yet we're still leaning more towards the unknown side of things regarding them, the people that call themselves Mandalorians. So how does it work? Can anyone be a Mandalorian? What exactly is a Mandalorian? Where do they come from? Is Boba Fett a Mandalorian? The whole Mandalorian species and the Mandalore theme has one of the greatest stories of the Star Wars universe, which is exactly the reason why we got the live-action series, and which is why we're gonna take a closer look at the group and everything that surrounds them. And without further ado, let's dive right in and see where the untold truth lies. Right off the bat, Boba Fett was the most popular Mandalorian in the Star Wars universe before the series became such a huge hit, despite him not being actually a Mandalorian, just a clone of bounty hunter Jango Fett, something the Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones made clear, and we can say with certainty that he was the one that inspired all of the recent Mandalorian projects and the ones to come. So you can see from the start that this is not about who's under the mask, but what the mask stands for, and the way they get things done, in what matter everything according to their code, of course. Boba Fett was a full-blown villain, a bounty hunter who did everything for his own personal gain, and while Mando is certainly capable of lethal violence, it remains to be seen where his moral compass really points.
I'm gonna give the rest of you the opportunity to walk out that door. I have no quarrel with you.
Vizsla was the first Mandalorian to be inducted into the Jedi Order, with his connection to the Force being the only connection he needed to play the role. While joining the Jedi Order at a young age, he came to be the Mandalore of his planet, checking all the boxes for the title, and the title Mandalorian Jedi surely went the distance with him. So like any other fearsome warrior, the Star Wars franchise gave Vizsla a distinctive weapon he deserved, with him building his own version of a lightsaber, dubbed the Darksaber, and even though it looked like it would completely be against everything that the Jedi stand for, it was perfect, with it ending up to mean a whole lot to the Mandalorians, with the weapon being one of the most important things in the Mandalorian series by far, not only for the power it has within it, but also with the status it holds, and the one who wields it is the rightful heir to the throne of planet Mandalore. The Mandalorian's armor is what makes them look so cool and distinctive from everyone else in the room, with the moves on the battlefield earning the bounty hunter some extra style points. It's made out of Beskar, also known as Mandalorian steel, and get this, It's strong enough to repel a lightsaber, while also being able to withstand a blaster shot. This probably came in handy against the Jedi Order, and while Obi-Wan Kenobi and other Jedi stepped in to help crisis Mandalore, the two species were once fierce enemies, with the sole reason for the clash between the two being the warmongering way of how the Mandalorians have done things, taking over planets and at one point controlling over half of the galaxy. However, the conflict between the Mandalorians and the Jedi did not last long, as the latter still to this day tends to be reasonable and moral beings. The other thing to know is even though we've only seen human Mandalorians, that's not the case. Mandalorian is not a race, it's a creed, which means that anyone can become a Mandalorian, no matter the planet on which that individual was born. After all, Mando was not even born on Mandalore, yet he's very much a Mandalorian. While we're at the creed, it was the creed that informed Mando about his mission throughout the first season, and at some point, the Mandalorians and the species where Grogu comes from were enemies once, and it's solely Mando's responsibility for the foundling that supersedes this animosity. He's responsible for his decisions. The Mandalorians are not even that common in the present of Din Djarin, at least not when compared to how big of a number they were in the past, with many of the Mandalorians getting wiped out by the Empire during an event known as the Great Purge. In their prime, the Mandalorians were some of the most feared warriors in the universe, which is why the series' Mando gets the recognition he does from the people around him, friend or foe. In the past, they all worked like bounty hunters and mercenaries scattered throughout the galaxy and were ruled by leaders who held the title Mandalore.
Wizard.
As with all other factions, organizations, or even cultures, there's a pyramid structure. The Mandalorians' pyramid structure had the most elite warriors at the top, followed by the less powerful. At the top of the pyramid sits, as we mentioned before, the leader of the Mandalorian people, Mandalore, who's guarded by the protectors, Mandalorian warriors, who help to maintain the balance and peace among the people, and underneath this, all the houses that belong to the clans, who have fought each other during several civil wars. And although all the fighting made the Mandalorians stronger, it was also the main reason why the Mandalorian Empire fell from grace. A double-edged sword type of thing. On a related note, tell us down in the comments below, what are your thoughts on the series so far, which element would you say has been your favorite so far, and where would you like to see Din Djarin's next adventure take him? But also don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.